YouTube! So, as per requested, somebody did request a continuation of Jazz Week. So I had the two Hondos the last 2 days, the Fat Boy and the aex520, the 393 something, 937, whatever they were. And I talked about my jazz guitar. This is, you can't, because it's black, you can't see it. You see it's got F holes. There you go. So we've got maybe make that the planning ahead. Yeah, so black with F holes. As you can see, the reason one of its issue is there's a split there in the top. It's not all the way through. It's just to the lacquer, but it's obviously been dropped at some point on the knobs, and it's kind of cracked it, and the wood's bounced back. So I could basically just fill it with glue and paint it, but I just haven't bothered doing that yet. So this is solid center block, and then two hollow wings. So it's like twice as hollow as a thin line. It's also this thick, so it's probably slightly thick, maybe slightly thicker than a normal electric guitar, but not much. And it's a flat top. So I think the last time I had this out was like surprising guitars, and that was what this one was for me, because I just bought it because it was a really good price, and I figured I'd be able to double my money on it, sort of thing. It's like Yamaha, it's a Yamaha, so Yamaha are really good, pretty much always really good. And it's also the numbering system on most Yamahas goes to a sort of formula where the first number is sort of kind of how, and this still kind of applies today. It did from doesn't fit all of them, but fits a fair whack of Yamahas. The first number is how many hundreds of pounds it costs. So like a 300 series one, like a 321, is 300 and something pounds, somewhere between 300 and 400 quid. Like a 7 series one's between 700 and something, that ballparky sort of area. The second two numbers are how many humbuckers and how many singles it's got. So that 321 would be about 300 quid, 2 humbuckers and 1 single coil, and a 1.2 would be an HSS, and this is an AEX for the series 520. So 5 series be 500 and something pounds, and two humbuckers, in this case mini humbuckers, and then zeros, no single coils. So just if you're looking at Yamahas, you probably look at what that number says. It's just, I think they do this. They don't do it with all the Rev Stars, but it did fit in with the one I had, because the Rev Star I had was a 320, so it was a 350 quid one that had 2 humbuckers and no single coils. And they're definitely, but I think there's newer ones that they've changed it to like a 3-letter thing. Maybe that's the model number. Yeah, but I was really surprised with this, by the fact that I actually liked it. One of the reasons I fancied it was because it's got mini humbuckers. I don't often get guitars with mini humbuckers in them. This is the only guitar apart from the Firebird that I built, but I didn't like that guitar. I built it, but as soon as I put it together, I put a Bigsby on it. I should have done that. If I hadn't put a Bigsby on it, maybe I would have ended up liking it. It's still sitting in a pile through there. But this is I was thinking, how can I like it? It's like a jazz, which I don't like, version of a Les Paul, which I don't like, and it's got the mini humbuckers, which I probably don't like, but no, it's just got the neck on it's very, actually the neck on it's very like my BC Rich Mockingbird. I don't know if it's probably a copy of a similar thing, but it's really easy to play, and it made me, as soon as I started playing it made me play more chords. I don't know why. Let's go. So just pick up. Both. Not that note. Bridge pickup. like a... This is just into the clean channel in my orange there. It does have these strings, by the way, are horrendous. I scraped them with wire wool, but that's not really the same as putting new strings on it. So it's kind of... It's not very good on the high E string there. But you're meant to use the tone control on these things. I think jazz strings are meant to be kind of dead sounding anyway. The flat wounds, they're not as bright sounding, so just being really old round wounds might be the way, might be almost as good. I think purely down to physics, the high E string is the thinnest string, so therefore the highest percentage of that string has its surface. It's got the highest surface area percentage, therefore more rustier, more area to get rusty. So when I scraped it out, it's probably affected it a little bit more. This sounds really good, actually. This is actually one of the few guitars in my collection that is not Japanese. This is Taiwanese, this one. A lot of Yamahas have a wee bit of writing down here. You see this wee circular bit, and it says in it where it's made. Does have a serial number, but PK16. Yamaha sometimes use a funny thing. It's something to do with dynasties in Japan. So it's like, if you look it up, it's like blah 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 is the, I don't know. I want to say Ming Dynasty because there was one, but I don't know what it is. It's some odd dating system, which you basically, if you look it up online, you kind of add numbers to it or something to get like the Western calendar. I'd go for, I don't know, 2000, something like that. Probably 20 years old. As you see, it's got it's got pickup rings, which are it's about the same size as a P90, isn't it? So do you know the story with them? Going a wee bit off topic, but so Gibson stopped making Les Pauls in 1960 because they didn't sell. Nobody wants Les Paul, so they just stopped making them. And then they introduced, well, they got rid of what we now think of as a Les Paul, with a carved top and all that, and then they brought out the new Les Paul, which was what we now know as an SG, until like a bit Les Paul wanted to take something to do with in 1960 to 1963. You can buy like the Les Paul model is actually it's SG shaped, thin and with a proper neck angle and all that stuff on it. And then there was something to do with Les Paul getting divorced or something like that. So he wanted his name taken off that guitar. So and then it became the SG, and then 69, 70 or something like that. By this point, Zeppelin were on the go, Peter Green and all that. So Les Paul and Eric Clapton had used a Les Paul, so people wanted Les Pauls again. And it's like, we don't make them anymore. So what they did was they had old Les Paul bits Although basically, at this point, Gibson had bought the Epiphone company who made the Epiphone Casino and stuff, and they used these mini humbucker pickups. So what Gibson did was when they reintroduced the Les Paul, they used up these mini humbuckers, and they routed them because some of these bodies were routed for P90s. So they made a pickup ring. They manufactured a pickup ring so they could use a P90 route, and then put a mini humbucker in it. What that does mean, I think I've actually done this on a modern SG, is that I could basically just take out the pickup ring and then plop a P90 in there quite easily. That would technically make this a 511, because it would be one humbucker and one single coil. I think it comes with P90s in it as well. Although I think the P90s you get in it are like, the big dog ear jazzy ones, which I'm not sure I like the look of. I think it's just the same pickup and below the cover. But I quite like it. It's just another option. So that the pickup rings are actually recessed into the body. You get, I think it's Les Paul Deluxes or something, whatever it was. But that was how mad Gibson were. And I don't think but basically the guitars they released were a P90 one and a mini humbucker one. But like the Peter Green and all the ones that everyone wanted were the humbucker ones. So I don't think they kind of missed the ball for a couple of years, where they didn't release the right one. They were kind of using up parts. I suppose, but it'd be cheaper just to make, if you're making a P90 one anyway. Then you've already got the jigs set up to do that, and then you could just use the same one. And it's only at the wiring stage you put in humbuckers instead. But I quite like mini humbuckers in the right setting, and this is the right setting, where it's very chordy, but it's really easy to play. It doesn't play like any sort of jazz thing. It just feels like it's a Gibson, slightly fatter than a Gibson neck, but it's also just a really good one. I think that's maybe a bit more. Something like that is perhaps more the fact that it's a £500 Yamaha, rather than it being because it's this format of guitar. So the other thing I was thinking is that this was by the time I knew that I didn't like 335s for some reason, and I thought it was even, so it's jazzy. It's this kind of, it's a 335, and it's like, and it's black. I don't like black guitars anymore, or I'm not riding them as much now. Obviously, they do take a bit of. If you kind of hit them hard, even in the clean channel, you can almost get a distortion. But a wee bit of low distortion. There's definitely a place for mini humbuckers. I want tremolo on that for some reason. Actually, see, playing, because I'm using this as an excuse to play kind of slow and what I perceive as jazzy, but maybe not jazzy, more just wanky than jazzy, bits, actually thinking a wee bit ahead where I'm going, so because I'm leaving big gaps. And I can go, oh, that's wrong. It's also quite difficult, so if you're targeting a note, you've got to be really confident with it, and you can't change it. Or you can hit a note and then just bend it. If it's wrong, bend it until it is right. See, that was the wrong note. So is that one? Get out of it by going chromatic. It's not wrong notes I'm playing, it's just ones you don't understand because it's just too advanced theoretically. But this is really not like those two Hondos. It is in the sort of section of the catalogue you would find it. I mean, I'm going to say Ibanez Art Core. I think you get Ibanez Art Core, whatever you call, what do you call that range? That kind of thing. It is in that same range, but this plays much more like a normal electric guitar. Is it like a 335? Not really. You gotta use a rat pedal to use that for everything. Does it? Also, jazz is a good excuse to play up. No, wasn't wrong. I mean, it should be able to do because it does an acceptable Sabbath. It's not the one I would use for it, but it does sound great, doesn't it? These strings are so old, but they're just getting so much better. And now I've been playing it for 20 minutes. The guitar's sounding 10 times better than it was when I started. I suppose, I mean, why would choose one of these? I suppose if you were into whoever it is that uses this kind of guitar, I don't know, like one of your jazzers or something, is maybe why you would look at this. But even if you were just looking for a good all-round guitar, really, I mean, it doesn't look the part if you're talking about playing for... Oh no, actually I'm going to do the tuner first. No, I'm going to try, I'm just thinking jazz. The wee cube has a jazz chorus setting, which I've actually been really enjoying, so I'm going to plug it into that. What that particular microcube doesn't have is a tuner built into it. Tuners on this are really good as well, just Yamaha own brand, I think. They're not even Yamaha own brand, they feel like the same as ones in my acoustic though. You've got the big Grover type, or basically just Grover copies. Probably why that E wasn't sounding particularly good. Right. Jazz chorus, jazz guitar. Will it make me play jazz? That's jazz clean, really? It is, that's clean, right? What's going on there? Does not sound clean. Maybe a bit of that jazz chorus on. Tone control seems to be particularly powerful on this guitar. Also, I was a wee bit concerned when I started playing it. The knobs or the pots are kind of like the Yngwie Malmsteen speed pots I had. They've got no resistance at all. It's kind of like if you really just blew on it, you could probably put the volume up. Just nil effort. I think my conclusions there are, you know, like a £700 valve amp through a Celestion 3 Celestion greenbacks and like a, I don't know, £100 reverb pedal sound better than a Roland Cube, I think. Especially for this kind of thing. Be fine if I'd started off on that. I think maybe this is the way I would probably play an acoustic. Actually, if I get back and if I started actually trying to play it properly, kind of more phrasing, letting it round, instead of just trying to keep the rhythm up, which is all I think one of my main problems with acoustics. They always sound pure amazing when you're batting. It's great when you're doing that sort of thing, and it's difficult to kind of go from that into, you know, kind of. Woo! Jazzy! Can't imagine how torturous that must be to someone who actually knows how to play jazz. things I'm kind of getting there is that there's lots of notes that don't sound right, but there really are some notes that are wrong more than, if you know what I mean. It's like there's some that are wrong and some that are pure. In the right context, you can make it fit, sort of thing. Even if you take the wrongest one, you can make that into, if you force it. I don't understand music. I've just got so many more. Like, the way I've always learnt to play the guitar is just tried things, and then if it's good, if that was a good bit, I'll remember what it was and I'll do it again. And then if it sounded really bad, I'll just try not to do it again, kind of thing. Right, just with shapes and bits with no knowledge of why these things work. Whereas now I've just got so many more options of things that I reckon I've got a good chance of being interesting. Just sticking, I don't know, just that revelation with I don't even know how that happened, with that Blondie song. I can't remember. Different one. All that stuff. It's all just shit that's in the chord. It's kind of bizarre. But amazing playing, small amount of distortion. Like, does it AC/DC? Actually, do you know what? It's not entirely unlike that Gretsch that Angus Young, Malcolm Young plays. Anyway, and he's always on the bridge pickup, and I think he's using those Filtertron pickups. And I think I would probably say that mini humbuckers in general are kind of closer to the Filtertron pickups than normal humbuckers or P90s or anything like that. So much harder to play the Malcolm Young AC/DC stuff than the Angus stuff, to be honest. He's an amazing rhythm guitarist. So there you go. Yes, if Malcolm Young fan, this is the guitar you want. Also, it kind of looks more like it than most other guitars because Malcolm Young was only that high. Or something. I was at an AC/DC display exhibition thing in the Kelvin Hall. I won tickets on the radio for, and they had one of Angus's suits on a mannequin in a glass case, and it was like that high, and the glass case had a thing that, I mean, honestly, Angus is that size. I have seen him up at the front a couple of times at AC/DC, and it's when he gets closer, you go, oh my god, he's just there, and you expect him to be twice as far away. He really is tiny. That's why the SG looks so big on him, and the rest of the band are all kind of that size as well. Or Malcolm and Bon Scott were anyway, kind of 5 foot, 5.5 feet, something like that. So when I first got my SG, I couldn't believe how small it was. I was like, this is tiny. Look at Angus's one's much bigger, but it's because Angus is half the size of me. Yeah. So this one kind of looks a bit more like Malcolm because it's a good bit bigger than a Les Paul, I think. But so it kind of looks like someone who's 5 foot tall playing a Les Paul. But lovely guitar. So I'll probably have this out for live stream tomorrow night, Sunday night live stream. I put it out there if anyone wanted to do the Saturday. And I was inundated with one person saying, no, I'll do it on a Sunday. So do it on a Sunday. So if you're about 8 o'clock, when the bell tolls, GMT, I think the clock's... I didn't even notice the clock's changing. It's disgusting, isn't it? Because it's just the computer's doing it. There you go. Catch you later.